Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
This is Nour's Man Institute once again with another one of our quick questions. And the question for the moment is, what are the troubles in being a Wali in this day and age?
Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Bismillah. From my experience, I find that being a Wali, a guardian for a sister who's seeking to be married, I feel that my experience has taught me that the roughest part about that is the sister herself. Most of the sisters, not all, but most of the sisters who are looking to be married and they don't have, their father is not Muslim or is not around, for whatever reason, they don't have their natural wali, their natural guardian, which is a male family relative, and they come to the masjid or the jamaat for somebody to fill that role. Normally, from my experience, I have found that the sisters are impatient and they really don't want the wali to do his job. They don't want the wali to treat her the way a father would treat his daughter. So in a lot of cases, you will find sisters who will meet a brother on their own. And then after getting involved with the brother, then come tell the wali, hey, I want you to marry me to brother such and such. And me, the wali, be like, I didn't even know you was talking to somebody. I'm still looking for you. And if for whatever reason you don't condone the marriage, the sister would just get rid of you and find somebody else to be the wali and proceed to do what she wants to do anyway. And then this is problematic because a lot of times, I'm pretty sure more than 50% of the time, if you go on social media and you hear those single sisters talking, that brothers dogged them out, brothers treated me bad, brothers ain't no good, niggas ain't such and such, and blah, 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 blah. They doing all of that stuff, and they say, yeah, the brother tricked me, and I was going to marry brother, or I married brother such and such, and he turned out to be this, and he turned out to be that. I guarantee you that most of those situations, them sisters, they either ignored or forced their wali to marry them. With a lot of them situations. I guarantee if you really dig into the situation and you talk to whoever was the wali at the time, you will find that that wali was either fired or some type of situation. She did what she wanted to do. And she got what she got. I had the experience of being a wali of a sister several years ago, maybe about 15 years ago. This sister, she was new to Islam, but she was introduced to Islam by her quote-unquote boyfriend, who was Muslim, had been Muslim for a long time. At the time, I was in my mid to late 20s. They may have been in their mid-30s. Both the brother and the sister was older than me. The sister was a new shahada. In fact, she was a correction officer, and she worked in the jail where I used to visit and teach classes. And so the chaplain of the jail introduced me to the sister and told me about her situation. And so she was introduced to Islam by this brother who she's been having relations with for a long time. It wasn't like a new relationship. It was going on for a long, long time. Years, maybe even decades. Allah knows best. So she became Muslim, and obviously she gets around the Muslim sisters, and this one particular Muslim sister, the Muslim chaplain, alhamdulillah, wasn't too shy to tell her that, you know, what was going on was wrong. You need to get married. I have a brother that could be a good wali for you.
Alhamdulillah.
And so she introduced me to her, and she agreed for me to be her wali. And so I said, all right. She told me the situation. I said, let's get y'all married. So I finally met the brother. As soon as I met the brother, within about 5 seconds, I said, this cat playing. You know, he's one of them wannabe dapper dudes and thought he was Don Juan and, you know, giving me the, you know, the good old boy talk, you know, yeah, I'm about to, you know, marry your sister. Like he doing her a favor or whatever. And in my mind, I'm like, brother, you sinning. I mean, you doing a major sin and you know, you just acting all nonchalant about it. But long story short, they set a date to get married. We had the dowry set and everything like that. And, you know, he called it off at the last minute. Then the same thing happened the second time. So I told the sister, I said, man, this brother is playing games. I said, if we set another date and he calls it off, I don't give you permission to marry him anymore. And so, third time happened. He called it off at the last minute. I said, you need to find somebody else to marry. Marry somebody else. And what they eventually did is they didn't even fire me. They just went someplace else. Somebody else became the wali, went to an immigrant master that didn't know what was going on. They finally got married, well, alhamdulillah. But the amazing thing about it is, after they got married, he gave her a disease, an incurable disease. Allah knows best what disease it was. They never told me that, but it was so-called incurable, right? So, and it was after she was sick for a minute, and then she came back to work, and then I seen her when she came back, and when she saw me, she says, I know what you're going to say. I'm like, say what? Say what? She's like, I know you're going to say, I told you so. And I just always remember that story because they had been sleeping together for all those years before that. But once Allah made it clear to them, to both of them, that what they were doing was wrong, especially she's a new shahada, so maybe she didn't have any blame on her, but now she knows better.
MashaAllah.
And I'm telling her, and she's doing it anyway. Allah chose that moment after He made it abundantly clear to them what they were doing was haram, to give her a disease. And I felt bad and sorry for her. So this is my one horror story, but this is the problem I have with a lot of sisters. They don't really want a wali. They want somebody to rubber stamp whatever they're doing. So that's the problem with being a wali of a lot of sisters. In a lot of situations when if brothers are living in sin like that, you know, we already went too long on this video, but if sisters, if you're living in sin and Allah open your heart to realize that what you're doing is wrong, and you don't need to wait for no big ceremony. That moment that you feel like what you're doing is wrong, get married right then on the spot. Do the walima and do it big later, but get married and do it on the spot. Once you realize, astaghfirullah, I'm wrong, I could go to hell, Allah could punish me, there's a punishment in the hellfire for committing zina. Once you realize that, get married right then and there on the spot. Get your witnesses, set the dowry, do it quick and get married. Because it's better to be married, make tawbah, and get that sin off your neck than worrying about having a party and inviting people. Do all that later. But, you know, get married and get within Allah's good pleasure, good graces, inshallah. So that's my issue with being a wali of a lot of sisters. A lot of these sisters don't want a wali. They want to do what they want to do. And, you know, they pay for it in the end. Alhamdulillah.